talk. So this is Robert Foss, who will join us to talk about Linux graphics. Thank you.
I will not talk about Linux graphics, but that's actually what I work with. That's what I do for money. What I don't do for money is this. Does anyone recognize this? Does anyone use this? I want to see some hands. Yeah, like 30%, 40% of people. So this is GIMP, the infamous image editor of many Linux distros. So this was version 0.54. It was released in 1996. So it's pretty old. It's been around. And GIMP is interesting for many reasons. When I think about this stuff, like which applications I spend my time learning, learning like an open source application is sort of a wise investment. It means that you're in control of the skills you've acquired. So if you spend time learning Photoshop, for example, maybe they'll choose to switch to a different licensing scheme, and you have no choice but to follow. Like you're not really empowered in the same sense that you can be when you're using something that's open source. So that's why I use it, but GIMP is also very interesting for other reasons. So unlike many other projects, GIMP sort of spawned a lot of other projects around this time. GIMP 1.0 was released in 1998, and at the same time, they spun off a UI creation toolkit called the GIMP Toolkit, or GTK, which you may be familiar with. GTK was released in 1998 as well, at the same time as GIMP 1.0.3, and was spun off into GNOME, or used in GNOME 1.0, which is something that we all know, I think. If you use a Linux desktop, you're probably familiar with the GNOME desktop, and this was version 1.0. And it's kind of hard to imagine using a Linux distro today without touching something that's been built using GTK. This is GIMP 2.0. It was released a few years later. And now it's sort of looking like something you're used to seeing, like the messy windows, the confusing layout. I'm sure you all like know and love it, or maybe not love it so much. And it was released at the same time as GNOME 2.8. And this is at least where I got on board with being a Linux desktop user. So I have like some warm feelings towards this sort of desktop era, or this era of desktop applications. And to see them being spawned by a single application like 10 years earlier it's very interesting, and it's not like very apparent when you just look at GIMP. It's just an application, but so much has come of it. So it's not just like my personal productivity, how I choose to spend my time, or what I choose to invest my time learning, but a lot of other things just has come out of this project. And yeah, this is where we are today. GIMP 2.10. It's pretty good. I like it. I don't know. I'm not a graphics professional. I mean, I work in graphics, but I write drivers, so I know nothing of image editing. But this is my toolkit. This is what I use when I need to just get something done. Yeah, and that's about it. That's everything I wanted to say about GIMP, really. It's software that I know and love.
So if you have questions for Robert afterwards, please find him during the networking time. And thank you very much.